the Department of Homeland Security, under the direction of, you can bet your ass, Stephen Bannon, issued just a whole bunch of new orders today that put in place Trump's plan to really bear down on these miserable sons of bitches who have come to the United States because they believe the bullshit that is written on the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, apparently. Didn't used to be bullshit. Used to be a deeply felt truth. But that was then, this is now. These new sets of orders from Trump will place the vast majority of the 11 million undocumented immigrants at immediate risk of deportation, with one exception. I don't know how he carved out this exception. I don't think it'll last. That's the so-called dreamers, and I hate that term, the young people who were brought to this country when they were children or babies or what have you. Through no effort on their own, their parents brought them, for God's sake. And those people, I guess, are going to be given a pass. But I don't believe it. Trump is a liar. Everything he says is a lie, so why should we believe this? Anyway, the memos that went out from DHS, according to USA Today, instruct all the agents, including Customs and Border Protection, that's CBP, and the really badasses, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to identify, capture, and quickly deport every undocumented immigrant they encounter. Police, judge, jury, executioner. All in one. That's a hell of a deal, isn't it? Huh? The memos require that undocumented immigrants caught entering the country be placed in detention, sounds like Obama, until their cases are resolved. The memos also increase the ability of local police to help in immigration enforcement, which is my understanding most local police departments don't want any part of. They're busy enough, you might say, right? It also calls for the hiring, and this is where Trump's promise to boost unemployment or boost employment comes in, the hiring of 10,000 more immigration agents, 10,000, holy shit, and allow planning to begin on an expansion of the border wall. You know, this idea of the wall, this is a real heartbreaker to me. I mean, it just literally makes me sad that this country has come to that. You know, and to the right-wingers to say, well, Malloy, you're out of your goddamn mind. These people are coming. They're breaking law coming here. Well, what law is being broken? Immigration laws, I guess. But why is that all of a sudden such a big issue? Oh, that's right. All these Mexican terrorists are going to come up here. But like I talked about last week, a lot of the farmers, the corporate farmers in the Imperial Valley in San Francisco or in California, are getting very upset because, I mean, when this goes into effect, just think about this for a second. How are these mega farms going to harvest their produce? No, seriously. There's an awful lot of vegetables and fruit that has to be picked by hand. And Americans aren't going to do it. Too much like work. So what's going to happen? This is where fascism and corporatism kind of clash. You know, fascism and corporatism, or capitalism, they have the same screwed up parentage, but there are some differences. Capitalism depends on poorly paid workers. Capitalism depends on a constant pool of unemployed workers. So that when capitalism has one of its spasms of profit making, they can hire all these new workers at low rates. And when capitalism decides, well, we better cut back on production in order to keep the prices up, then they dismiss these workers. The workers don't mean shit. They don't mean anything. They're just something that capitalism has to deal with. Although capitalism would much rather deal with slavery, but a bunch of stupid-ass laws were passed about that, right? So it puts corporatism, doesn't it, in a real bind. What to do, what to do. We need cheap labor. We need these so-called undocumented immigrants. We need these people, especially if you're in the agribusiness, right? We need them. Or if you're in the chicken rendering business, I guess that's part of agribusiness. Or if you work in a hog slaughtering plant, that's pleasant work. Americans, a lot of Americans won't do that, especially since the unions have been kicked out. So who are you going to turn to? Well, all these people with names like Rodriguez and Gomez and Hernandez and, Sanchez and people like that, they'll work for practically nothing. So it puts corporatism / capitalism in kind of a headbutting situation with the fascists who are now running this country. The white nationalists, most of whom have never worked a goddamn day in their life, that's what gets me. Well, they're taking our jobs. What job, asshole? What job was taken from you? Well, if you're going to get personal about it, it always cracks me up. Taking your jobs, huh? What job, white man? What job was taken from you? You want to go out here and chop cotton? You want to go out here and mow lawns? What do you want to do? You want to go pick cabbages? How about oranges? I got one for you. Strawberries. That's a lot of fun. You pick strawberries for 8-10 hours a day and then try to stand up and see if you can do it. No, white man, you don't want to do that? Well, shit. Why not? Crazy. Crazy.